Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Good morning, Tom.
You did your thing a little quick. People missed it.
It's funny. What I don't think anyone realizes that I have a lot going on while that's playing. I'm posting this to several groups that I belong to, and it invariably takes longer than it seems like it should almost every morning. So by the time I have a choice to make right when it starts saying, and now Tom Brush and Bob Graham or whatever it says, I guess it says it the other way, I have to decide, am I going to hit the button one more time and send it to another group, or am I going to stop and get ready? And usually I'll let you in on a secret. When I go beyond just the do and add something, that's when I've screwed it up and mismanaged it, and that's my cover. So, and what it means to say, Tom, frankly, is that's me explaining something that no one cares about, that's completely inner, but that's where our ego gets in the way. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we talk about that, let me set the stage for you. That is the incomparable Tom Brush, and I am the comparable Bob Graham. See what I did there? We are two guys who have been doing these broadcasts. Yeah, indeed. We are two guys who have been doing these broadcasts, whatever you want to call it. I guess I call it a broadcast now, since March 19th of last year. We worried about the pandemic and its effect on us personally and on our businesses. We aligned to start this. And now here we are 200 some odd episodes later. And we are looking each day for that one thing that will help us move a step forward. We're not looking to go from, I started a business yesterday and I'm a billionaire today. This is not like winning the lottery. This is incremental steps. Steady and slow is how you win the race. So if you have some insight during the course of this program, feel free to share it with us. We'd love to see your comments. We'll even post your comments to the group. And that's how we all learn from each other. So all week, Tom, we've been talking about ego. I'm sorry, we've been talking about self-sabotage. Well, I would argue that it's our ego. All of our self-sabotage.
Tell me more about that.
Okay. So I think we, as you've said several times this week, we want to be right. We're afraid of being wrong. Mm-hmm. I know for me, it's not so much I want to be right. I'm just afraid of being wrong. I'm afraid of being criticized. I'm afraid of someone saying something. Geez, Bob, that was such a stupid opening. You know, Tom's so much better than you. That would change my presentation in life for a minute, an hour, a day, a week. It depends on the situation. But that's my ego. That's me going, I've got to be the best at this. Versus me going, hey, you know, Tom's really good at these things. And what makes Tom really good at this? He speaks slowly. He speaks clearly. He has one idea per sentence. He's not frenetic with his hands like I am. I can do all the dissection. It's implementing it. And also, I think some of it's just healthy competition. You know, when you said, hey, you do the opening today, I got to tell you, for a second, my head was like, all right, chance to show Tom how good I am at this. That's not the right answer. The right answer would have been, the better answer would have been, hey, you know, Tom does a really good job of introducing this. Why don't you take some of those things Tom does, put them in your own style and voice, and voila, you're better than you were. Voila, not voila.
But is that
voila.
Real for you? Why would you have to be like me? That's, I think, where we get is like, you look at that and be like, well, that's the right way to do it. Well, maybe there are people out there who'd be like, God, Tom's so boring. He just sits there and, you know, maybe smiles a little bit and he doesn't laugh and his hands aren't all over the place. And I like Bob's like active. Maybe that's what people are actually saying.
Hey, I feel better already. Keep going, Tom. This is great.
Because that's what's real for you. You are who you are. We are who we are, you know? And so I think when we try to be someone else, yes, could we take a little bit from everyone else and have that influence who we are? Sure. Because we see something that we like and we say, hey, you know what? That might be good to add. And yet I'll never be able to add it the same way that person does because I'm not that person. And so if you take those things that you see others do and say, you know what? I like the way they do that. How can that influence what's real for me without me trying to just be them? It's being comfortable with who we are. And I think that's a big part of why people are renegades, is that we are comfortable with who we are. And in some regards, it doesn't matter what other people think. Yeah, I mean, sure. We don't want to just make everybody upset and everybody think we're a jerk. And it's okay to be who we are, the way we are, and see what others are doing and see how that influences and maybe modifies what's real for us.
Are we comfortable with who we are, or are we in a place where it's safe to be who we want to be and get the support of others so we can take that out and go elsewhere with it? Because I like to think of our group, the Ring of Renegades, and the people in that group and how they approach things as building my armor so that I can go out into the real world where people are going to be like, dude, you move your hands around too much. Dude, that background looks really horrible. Or, I hate your logo. I hate the fact that you cut your hair super short. I mean, there's a million things that you can go after with people. And I think we often are looking for people to be critical of us. I was talking to someone yesterday and they were saying, I do this thing, except I know people are going to think I'm stupid. And I said, do you think it's the right thing? Yeah, I know it's the right thing. I'm like, and he said, but I don't want to hear the comments. The comments hurt. The comments cause me pain. The comments make me question, am I doing the right thing? And once I start to question whether I'm doing the right thing, it doesn't even matter if I'm doing what I think is the right thing or the best thing. It starts to hurt me.
Why is what they say right? Not just real for them.
Well, it's the they. That mythical they that knows everything. There's a group out there right now that knows how to do this broadcast perfectly.
Says
and
who?
I know the logic of it, but I think there's a they out there that if some expert came in and said, guys, this is really horrible, you should do this. That's the problem. I think what I'm coming to over the last couple of years is I can't listen to all those voices because those voices don't understand where I've been and where I want to go. Someone asked me yesterday how I don't get exhausted doing my work because she was trying to book into my schedule and she's like, man, you have a lot going on. I'm like, I love what I do. I'm changing lives every day. I hope I'm alive for 50 years to change the number of lives I do. And she's like, wow, you're serious. I'm like, I'm dead. I'm absolutely serious. I love what I do. Wouldn't change a minute of it. That's new. I wasn't there. Go back to March, Tom. I wasn't there.
Yes. And well, here's the thing. Just as we shouldn't look at ourselves as right. We shouldn't look at what somebody else says as is right. It's just real for them. Okay. That's fine. I can take that. And that's new experience or it's new knowledge or it's a new perspective that maybe influences what I do and maybe it doesn't. Just because somebody doesn't like the fact that you wave your hands all around doesn't make them right. It's just another piece of information for you to add to who you are and what makes us real. I think this whole idea that there is something that is perfect, there is something that is right, to me, that's a myth. Because it might be real for them, but that doesn't make it right. It just makes it real. And so if you can take that information as, hey, you know what? Not that they're right. That's just the way that they think about it. Okay, fine. Probably the people who don't appreciate what it is are going to speak up more than those that do. And so we hear those, or I think like you said, we're so worried about being right that we hear the negative the critical what's real, rather more than we hear the positive what's real.
Sorry, I'm freezing today outside. I'm
right.
on my porch and it's cold and my nose is running. I'm surprised I can't see my breath. It's funny. I'll give you another example. I have a presentation to do today at noon. I am having a great internal debate this morning about whether to keep the sweater on, because it's going to be cold out here, or wear a sport coat. My assessment of that has absolutely nothing to do with me. What would my father say if he were here? He's been dead for 5.5 years, so that's a really scary thought all its own. What will the person presenting me think when she sees me on screen this way or that way? And what will the 200, hopefully, people in this Zoom audience think? Nowhere in that discussion is, hey, what would be comfortable for you, Bob? What do you feel fits you in this moment? Because I got to tell you, if it were up to me, easy choice. I got to wear the sweater. It's cold out here.
Isn't it up to you?
It is up to me, but I don't often take the responsibility for that, because if I make that choice and it turns out that people are critical, then I feel like I made the wrong choice. So absent making a choice, it's kind of easier just to, figure out at 5 of 12, my sport coat's
upstairs. So are you more worried about what people think about the way you look, or what you offer them in value in your presentation? Would you be more upset if somebody said, I can't believe that guy wore a sweater. What a clown. Why isn't he wearing a jacket? Then what if they then said, hey, that information was awesome. I took away, that was great. And what they remember is the information. Who's going to remember what you wore and actually care? And
this is where our ego comes into play.
Sure.
Right? That's a great example where, for me, it's like I'm obsessing over this. Like literally, this is consuming my morning thoughts at a time when I could be doing many more productive things. I could be thinking about the presentation. I could be executing it in a new way that I've been working on. I've got plenty I can fill my head with that's going to make it better. But I find myself, because, and we get back to our topic, it's self-sabotage. If I obsess over this, and if I choose the sweater over the sport coat and it doesn't go perfectly, because I'm going to bring a couple of different things into the equation, now I have the excuse, it's because I wore the sweater. And I think that's what goes on. Man, I can't believe we've done this, 4 days in a row, and this is the third day I've gotten really into deep stuff with me. I swore today was going to be you.
I think it's a lot about worrying, because I think what you're thinking is that there's something that's right. There is a right way to look on screen.
Yes.
Okay. And others believe that they think what's right. I would be curious how many even pay attention to that.
I think knowing this audience, none. They're going to be like, is this guy, within 30 seconds, is this clown going to help me or hinder me?
Yeah, I think what's going to impact them more is what you say. Right. And then, even then, there'll be some who'll be like, that was a waste of time. Right. Okay, that was real for them. You shared what you thought was going to be most beneficial to them. You put what is real for you out into the universe. Guaranteed there will be at least one person in that room who will walk away and, you know what? That was so helpful. That is really going to change what I'm going to do. Now, they may never come back and say to you, hey, guess what? That was the most amazing presentation I ever heard. It changed my life. They might. And if you can feel comfortable knowing that you put out what you believe is real.
Right.
And that someone, it's funny, the ego piece is we want that person who was changed to come back and tell us they were changed.
And the skeptic to go,
right.
Right. The skeptic who goes, I can't believe you wore a sweater, but man, I forgot all about that. You were so amazing. That would be the perfect answer. I want to get some comments in, Tom, because, we love our comments. Tim says, it's how the two of you interact that makes this show so interesting, not Bob trying to be Tom or vice versa.
Thank heavens.
Yes. Maybe that's what we do for an episode. You be me and I be you.
It's not real for me, so that's not happening.
How about April Fool's Day we do that?
I'll think about it.
Okay. All right. And then this is from Peter. The they equals the critical voice, that voice that we all have inside our head. Yes, that's thank you, Peter. That crystallized it for me. Yes. The they is all those critical voices and all those negative thoughts that we can introduce. And then Carrie, this is absolutely, truly amazing. Hey, I think we should just close the show right there. I mean, that's as far as it goes. The only place you can get commentary like that is on Jeopardy. Have you ever watched Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune? And they'll be like, so tell us about your family. Well, I have a beautiful, loving, the words before husband and children are the funniest words. Watch that. Anyway, Carrie says, this is absolutely, truly amazing. I feel the same exact way Bob does. Mine is more about why it is when I speak. Why is it when I speak? I can hear a pin drop, but when another person says the same information, it brings on conversation. This is only with my business. In my personal life, it's no problem. What do you say to that, Tom?
Well, I would go back to what I was sharing with you is it is our ego that wants someone to tell us we're right, that what we just shared was 100% right. So yes, is it great that Carrie shared that? Absolutely. Does that change whether or not I think what I said or what we've said is real? No. I'm trying to get to the point where the feedback that I get from whatever action I take is just information that influences my knowledge, experience, and perspective. None of it is right. The good isn't right. The critics aren't right. It's just what's real for them. And I'm like, okay. Thank you for providing that information. That influences what I'm doing, and now I can move forward. And so rather than going out and looking for someone that has to react, because here's the thing, not everybody's going to react, right? We have people who probably have watched the show a few times and have never commented ever. So does that mean that
what's wrong with you?
See, there you go again. Your ego is trying to get that reaction. We just need to put it out there and know that someone somewhere
so funny how often it pops up
may benefit from what we're saying. Whether they respond or not doesn't matter. You know, I'm getting to the point where I firmly believe that if we don't share what's real for us, we're being selfish. We're holding it back. And because we are not sharing the gifts that we have been given, the knowledge, experience, and perspective. And yes, some people aren't going to like it. Some people might love it. Some people are going to tell us what they think, and others are just going to take it and walk away. And that's okay. Because if it helps someone, does it matter that they come back and tell us that it helped them? Honestly.
No, it's nice, but you know, I think one thing I'm trying very hard to do, I think you're doing it in one way, I'm doing it a little differently, is I'm trying to be true to what my heart tells me, which I think is a different way of saying what you're saying. Putting out what's real for me, let the chips fall where they fall. You know, if I speak to 200 people today and 199 dislike it, you know what? It's not the end of the world.
Well,
and if that one person responds favorably and it changes their life, I'll take one out of 200. That's a good day.
Well, here's the thing. Those are the results that you take away in the moment. Bam.
Right.
The presentation's over and everybody has an initial reaction. That is the results at that moment. 10 days from now, that one person may have gone out and told 100 people, here's what I learned today. And isn't that great? Or they go back to their office and this is a new way that they interact with their team, which has now influenced their team. And maybe some of those people feel the same way. Some of them hated the message. Some of them loved it. And the ones that loved it, shared it. And maybe the 99 or 199 people who didn't like it 10 days from now are like, I've had some time to think about that. And now I've had another situation where the information he shared actually makes more sense. So now you're understanding it. Their results are different 10 days from now.
Damn, where were you when I was getting my evaluations teaching college? Because it was amazing. The immediate feedback was this was a waste of a course. But 6 months later on LinkedIn, hey, remember when you were explaining to me how to do a resume? I didn't really pay attention. Can you go through it with me again?
Because sometimes we're not ready for the message that we're hearing at the time until another situation arises. It's interesting. One of the basketball coach at my college, and I helped out with the team and played on JV a little bit. He always used to say that a lot of the results of his work, yes, they showed up in the team's record, but where it truly showed up was where were the people that he coached 10 years from now? And were they taking the messages that were shared that they couldn't deal with in the moment because their knowledge, experience, and perspective wasn't ready. What was real for them wasn't ready for that message then. Somewhere down the line, that message was like, they were like, oh my gosh, that's what my coach used to say. Or for us, wow, I can't believe I'm saying that because my parents used to say that to me all the time. And now what I thought was stupid and they're just old and they don't know what's going on. They're just my parents. Now has become real for us. And we're like, holy cow.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm taking this piece of knowledge and sharing it with someone else. So now it is real for me. So somewhere, all those messages influence us. And it's just a matter of when we're ready to share them or actually to receive that and have it influence what's real for us so that we can then share it with others. And they might be impacted.
Okay, a couple more comments. Carrie says, Carrie's busy typing. She's going to have sore fingers this morning. I don't care if they say I am wrong. A conversation would be great. I get 0. LOL. Carrie, I'm going to tell you that sounds like the perfect discussion for a laser solution session. Love to set one up with you. You can talk to Tom or me and we can walk through that with you. All you have to do is go to lasersolutionsession.com. I believe. As I say that feels odd. But if I'm wrong, just get to me. Carrie also says, that is true. It doesn't matter what the other person says. I don't grow by constantly letting others influence everything I do. I needed to hear that this morning.
Sure. And I'll give Carrie one little tip. It's going to be brief. Think about, are you speaking to them or are you having a conversation with them?
Ooh. Tom, breaking out the bad stuff.
No, I think it's a great tip. You know, it's what are we trying to accomplish? And
here's Carrie's response.
You know, that's good. You know what? That's nice. And that influences us and we appreciate it. And I think it's a matter of how does that impact what we do?
She also replies, LOL, speaking to them. Interesting. Okay. So, Tom, why don't you tell us your one thing this morning?
Oh, heavens. So I think my one thing is, we're talking about, what role does your ego play? I'd say try to let your ego go.
You say, I'm 55 years old, Tom, and that has not succeeded. Could you help me solve that right now?
Yeah. There is no right.
Okay.
There's only what is real.
Okay. There's
what
no
you
right,
put out there
is real.
And what others give back. Just because they're providing feedback does not mean they are right. It just means they're providing what is real for them, and we have the opportunity to then determine it. If we go looking for what's right, again, or what, somebody's telling us what they think is wrong, which is their right, then we are going to struggle with self-sabotage because we're going to be worried about being like everybody else, serving whatever their feedback is. Yes. Do we need to evaluate it, understand it, and see if we need to modify? Of course. That's the value of the feedback in the instant results. It's also the value of the future results that may come.
I got nothing to add. That was good. That was really good. I'm just going to bow to your to what's real for you this morning.
Can I share another thing that's real?
Please.
Before I forget.
I've got another comment from Carrie.
Okay.
I do want people to see what I see because I see a lot of people hurting.
Just remember, Carrie, that's what's real for you. And you understand that they have to be ready to acknowledge that they're hurting.
Right.
And that may be now and it may be later. So even though they're hurting now and you're sharing, they may take hold in the future. So the other thing I was going to share is, don't forget today, hey, if you want to connect and engage with other members of the Ring of Renegades, join us this afternoon. Oops, got to get that comment.
Got that.
Thank you. Join us this afternoon for our Renegade Roundup, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, it will be 1 hour. We promise that we will not take up more than an hour, but it's a great opportunity for you to meet and engage with others and really get to know them. We'll do this a little bit differently. We'll have a little tip, and then we will give you the opportunity to connect one-on-one with others in attendance. It will be a great time. We hope that we will see you then. There's more information inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. If you are not a member of the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, please go to Facebook and search for Ring of Renegades. It is a private group because we're building a community of people who want to support, engage, connect, and grow with one another. So the only thing you need to do to join is ask, and then tell us why you're a renegade. And then you can become part of this ever-growing community. So we hope that if you are not, we will see you inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, or we'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time for the next edition of today's Antidote. Anything you want to close with, Bob?
No, I was just realizing that we have a tip to do at 4 o'clock, and someone needs to get on that.
I think you've already done it. You just don't remember. But we'll get to that.
I know I created a tip, but I don't remember which one it was. So.
Just a reminder, join us today at 4 o'clock. We hope to see you then. If you are struggling with trying to deal with what is right, actually what is real, and avoiding
that's how hard it is.
Avoiding the concern of what's right, you might want to sign up for a laser solution session like Bob said, or you could join our Renegade Success Network where you get unlimited opportunity for those laser solution sessions, 15-minute calls that will focus on that one thing that you're stuck with so that you can move forward to create and follow your own unique pathway to success. Here's a little information about the Renegade Success Network. Have a great day, everyone, and we will see you soon. Take care.
Are you struggling to make your vision a reality? Are you stuck and don't know what to do next? Are fear and doubt holding you back? The Renegade Success Network will help you determine the next steps on your pathway. Here is some of what you will get. Create your pathway call to start you on a better path. Unlimited laser solution sessions to keep you from getting stuck. Nurture your network events to build your network with other successful leaders. Monthly Renegade challenges to prepare you for what lies ahead. The Renegade Success Vault, giving you access to videos, tools, and tips on specific topics anytime you need them. And the Renegade Success Network community, an exclusive Facebook group of like-minded renegades, all working towards achieving their goals. You have a choice. Do it yourself and fumble forward slowly and alone. Or join the Renegade Success Network and be part of a community built to help you find your own pathway. Join today at renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Act now and jumpstart your journey on your own pathway to success.